Hello and welcome to SEHYOG 11 Plus Help Club Solution videos. In this video, we will review a subset of questions from NVR04Y5 based on the topic odd one out. So let us start with some of the examples under this topic. Viewing at the first example, that is example number 30. Here we can see we need to choose any figure, any amongst these, the odd one out. So let us, our first observation, let us see what is it. By looking at them, we can say that each of the shapes that are here, as I have written here, rest sides of the, in rest figure. Rest means all the figures here have, except for the answer figure, have the sides of the shapes compared to the circles inside them differ. So the sides of the shape, supposing, let us look at example A. Here there is a square, we have a square here. So it is of 4 sides, 1, 2, 3 and 4. But then the circles inside the square are just 1, 2 and 3. Similarly for B, we have a triangle which is of 3 sides, but then we have 2 circles inside them. So it's like 3 and 2 right here. So now if we look at C, it is a pentagon with 4 circles inside. So it's 5 and 4. For D, here we have 4-sided figure as well as 4 circles inside it. So therefore D could be our answer, but let us look at E and F as well. So E here 2 again has a triangle with 2 circles. So does F with 4-sided figure and 3 circles. So therefore D is our correct answer here, making it the odd one out. Viewing our next example, that is example number 29. Here in example number 29, we can see that all of them, if we count them properly, each one of them have 4 pines. But if we look carefully, let us look at the pines very carefully. So the first and the last pine are of the same size, and this one, the third one, is a bit smaller than the second one. So the second one right here is the tallest pine out of all. So let us see here in B, same, the second one here. So A and B, we can strike it off. In C, here too, the second one again is the tallest. And here, but in D, it is the reflected version as written here. Why? Because if, as I mentioned in the first, that the second one should be D, but here the second one should be the tallest pine, but here in the second one, this part is not as tall as this one. Therefore, making D the reflected and our correct option here as well. So E and F also not are the answers that we are looking for, because here also the tallest one is the second one. Moving on to our next example, that is example number 28. Here, if we look at this example carefully, it might seem a bit confusing at first, but all we need to do is view them properly. So here, as I have written, rest all the pentagon except for the answer figure, the pentagon, the circle and the triangle are in front of the square, are placed in the front of the square or diamond, whatever we can call it as. So let's see, for A, here all of them are in front, okay. So A is not the odd one out, so is in B, so is in C, so is in D, everything is in front, in E too. But here in F, the triangle goes behind the square, making F the odd one out and our correct option for this question. Viewing at our next example, that is example number 27. Now here rest all are made up of 8 lines. So if we, let's count the number of lines here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Next, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Again, the next one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So here all are made up of 8 lines. But which one can we say is the uncommon? Let us look at another factor, that is how many figures are created here. So it is just 1 here, 2 and 3. Here 1, 1, 2, 3. Here we can divide 1, 2, 3. Here 2, 1, 2, 3. Here as well 1, 2 and 3. But here if we divide it, it will be 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4 here. Therefore making C the odd one out for this one. Moving on to our next example, that is example number 22. In this one, it might be a bit confusing because it is a bit confusing, this figure right here. It may take a little bit of time for y'all to guess the answer, but if you give it a careful look, it might be easier. Why? Because see, in here in the figure A and B, we have 3 circles right here. 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3. So yes, in C and E we have 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But in D, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and in F, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So D and F. Now we will strike off all the rest because they have something in common, so they cannot be the odd one out. So now our answer has to be from D or F. Now let us look at it more carefully. The position of the letter F differs from the other letters. If we look at it, so the position right here, all of them go in a single straight line, but then if we take F, it covers a much lesser area here and much more area in the bottom. If we look at this as well, right here, if we put the pen through it and notice, see the space left here through all the letters and the space for F. So the position of the F, of the figure in the F, is different from that of the others, therefore making F our correct option here. Okay, moving on to the next example, that is example number 20. Now looking at this example right here, it also might seem a bit confusing like the previous one that we solved, but all we need to do is, with some careful observation, we'll be able to figure out the correct answer. So here I have written the answer already, which is D, because the position of D is different from the others and so are the number of lines. The position of D is here different from the others. If you can see, the others, some of them match the positions, but then D is completely positioned in an upward direction, and so the number of lines here. So let us see, here we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So here C and D now, out of which we need to choose the correct answer, which is D. We already know that, but why is it so? Because the lines make the same number of sides or the space for each and every figure. It is 1, 2, 3, 4 here, 1, 2, 3, 4 right here, 1, 2, 3, 4 here as well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4. But for D it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 spaces are created here, making D our correct option. Moving on to the next example, that is example number 18. I hope I was able to make you all understand the example number 20. Now moving here, rest all the shapes are combined to 8 lines. Combined to make 8 lines. So let us see. Here we have an hexagon. So 1, 2, 3 and 6. A hexagon has 6 sides. So 3 and 6 gives us 9 in total. So A could be our answer, but let us also look at the rest. So it is 4 and 4 here, which makes it 8. Then again here 5 and 3, which makes it 8 too. Here again 4 and 4, which makes it 8. Again 4 and 4 making it 8. Here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 1, 2, 3. So 5 plus 3 also makes 8. So therefore, as we guessed, A is our correct option here. Moving on to and looking in the next example, that is example number 17. Here we can notice that rest all have 2 shapes colored in black. So for A here we have 1 and 2. For B here we have 1 and 2 shapes colored in black. For C we have 1, 2 and 3. Therefore C could be our correct answer, but let us look at the rest as well. So it is 1 and 2, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. Therefore yes, C is our correct option for this question. Moving on to the next example, that is example number 7. In example number 7, again we have something similar to our example that we solved in number 20. So now here also it is the same thing. There are 4 sides for each figure except for the answer figure. Let us count. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now after counting it, we can easily guess that our answer for this question will be F, because it has 5 spaces created. Therefore, now moving on to the next example, that is example number 5. Here in example number 5, it might seem a bit confusing because the shape is not changed, neither is the position. So, but there is an uncommon factor which we have not come across through any examples that we have solved previously. So the common factor here, as I have written the answer, the rest all the figures here, after we count for each and every figure, they create the number of triangles, both shaded and not shaded, are even in numbers. So when we count and when we get our answer, we'll notice that both the number of triangles that are shaded and not shaded. The not shaded are the white ones and the shaded are the black ones. So the shaded and the not shaded, after counting them all together, they, not all together but then separately, they are even in number. That is the common factor for all the figures except for the answer figure. Now let us find out which one. So for A, we have here 2 shaded and 6 unshaded. This makes it even. For B, here we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Shaded and non-shaded are same. So no, B is also not our correct answer. For D, here let us look. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 1 and 2. So therefore D is also not our correct answer. So is E, because it is similar to A. So no. And let us look at F. F2, 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 shaded and 4 unshaded. Therefore making C our correct answer. Why? Because it has 3 shaded, which makes it an odd number shade, and then 5 not shaded. So this one, our option C, is odd and rest of it are even. Now moving on to our last example under the topic odd one out. In example number 2 here, we will notice that it is a simple sum. It is a simple example. Here we can see that this and this, all of them have same sided figures except for the answer one. So this we have 4 here. Here we have two triangles, which makes it 3 and 3. Here in D we have again a square, 2 squares, which makes it 4. Here we have the same figure 2, a star and a star, and the same sided figure for F as well. So these have nothing uncommon in them except for C. Why? Because C has a pentagon right here and a hexagon right here. So therefore C is the odd one out in this question. I hope everything I explained in these examples were clear to you. Thank you for watching this video. Hope it was helpful. Do not forget to subscribe SEHYOG 11 Plus Help Club YouTube channel for future videos. Thank you.